Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another edition of This Is Recorded podcast. We join with a young king, a young creative, a young
Hey,
getting it out the garage, man. A young musician, man, a young greatness in his prime, man, doing the best with what he got, man. Please introduce yourself, socials and all, please.
hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? I go by the name of Ironic Dorsey. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, all that at Ironic Dorsey. I'm on Apple, Spotify, all that. But artist, producer, songwriter. I do some little photography here and there. Yeah.
And give them the correct spelling because I'm gonna put it
Oh
in
man,
bio.
you right. You right. You
Give them
right.
it
You
in
right.
I'm gonna put it in the bios, but some people shout out to
So
y'all that
it's
was on hooked on phonics like I was, man. It's okay.
so it's ironic as in like Aaron Aaron and then Dorsey Dorsey.
Okay, okay. So where are you from, or where was you raised at? Born and raised at?
I was it's a mix. I was born and partly raised in Montgomery, Alabama, and then about what when I was in second, third grade, I moved to McDonough, Georgia.
McDonough, Georgia. And me and my wife have been dying laughing off of one of your posts that you put up because you're a great follow. Everybody go follow him for the content, but also for the comedy. Cause we was down in the square and I clicked your story, and this dude was like, uh Atlanta is not McDonough. I was crying, dog. Oh my god. Yeah, and then like people, if you're not from Atlanta or you don't really get it, thought you talking about is one word. Like it literally
Right. Oh,
is
for sure.
one
One
word.
word, one
Fuck you
word,
talking
one
about
word.
is one word. And that is when somebody is dead serious when they say that. Like, what you talking about is one word and it's a real thing.
It's a
And
real thing.
I'm dead serious, but
I'm dead serious.
bro, McDonough is not, oh my God. Oh, Atlanta is not McDonough. Had me
Hey,
crying, bro.
man, I'm glad. I've definitely had people hit me recently that they'll see my story and they'll be like, "Dang, bro, you always be posting the funniest things." And now it's gotten to a point I'm like really strategically like, okay, is this funny enough for the people? Is this going?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got it, man. We got to talk about that more later. But man, give us the let's paint the picture. Let's paint the Scorsese, the Spike Lee of your life. What was the settings like? What was the music like growing up in your life? And what was the surroundings like for you growing up?
Okay, so the surroundings for me in at least the Alabama part was it was very I always talk about the fact when I talk to my moms and stuff, I talk about the fact how I was like allotted the ability to really just be a kid when I was a kid. Like I don't feel like everybody gets that. So it's like literally because I was in Alabama until I was like in second grade, all I can associate with it is just kid stuff, going to the park, going like you
Jumping
know,
off the swing, stuff like that.
jumping off the swings. You know what I mean? A lot of I've always been heavily in church as young as I've been. That's always been Sunday morning you going to church. So a lot of my initial music taste is definitely like Kurt Franklin's, the Fred Hammonds, the Donnie McClurkins, the that just that to me the untouchable side of gospel to me like the like stuff I still listen to today. Like there's not a you'll hear some stuff every now and then, but that stuff is just like unmatched. So I think that's like my earliest music inspiration. My pops was very big on Stevie Wonder. Like every project, every song.
Man,
We
I'm gonna
got
stop you right there.
go ahead.
Ribbon in the Sky is
Yeah.
a perfect song. If you
Oh yeah.
tell somebody what's one song that's like
Yes.
a work of art, like it's like literally I can hand you this Mona Lisa of a song,
Yes.
this
Yes.
beautiful painting of a song. When I tell you Ribbon in the Sky is like
Top tier. Top tier.
It's like, bro, it's speechless. Like it literally, and he knew it because he let the beat rock so long at the end, and just it just came in at the end like there's a ribbon in the sky for our love, and it cuts
And
off.
it just,
My
hey,
favorite thing in music
mm.
when they say a couple words and the song just cuts off because it's like I literally put my whole foot in this whole song. Like
I don't got nothing else for you.
it's a
I don't
ribbon in
got
the
nothing.
sky. It's a ribbon in the sky. Bam. That's it. Like he let the beat rock. Stop this podcast right now. Listen to Ribbon in
Yes,
the Sky and
literally.
listen to how long he let the beat rock.
Yep,
He just
yep,
comes
yep,
in out of
yep,
nowhere.
yep, yep, yep.
There's a ribbon in the sky for our love, but cut it off.
That's it. I'm done. That's enough.
He had to throw the headphones down or something afterwards.
Like,
Like, bro, what? I mean, do you know what I just did just now? Like, I don't
did
think
you just, bro? And I think that's the thing, when it comes to Stevie, as I've gotten older, it's a lot of songs he has. It's just like crafted so well. Like these three words, oh my God, like just crafted so well. It's in a realm of its own. Uh, and I think that was one of those things like, you're hearing it as a kid, you're not even noticing that
no,
you're like,
you can't.
pick. Mm-mm,
You
mm-mm.
can't like for me, like I was young, and Malcolm X, the
Yeah,
movie spoke to me, and I heard
yeah,
change is gonna come, and he placed that song
perfectly.
perfectly when he's dying. He placed that song.
Right,
I was
right.
born by the river in a little tent, and basically Malcolm X's whole fight was for a change is gonna come. Like music
Hmm.
has this way of like crafting a work of art, and people, and
No, definitely.
it's just so sad to me that like people have these horror stories of the music business, but it's like
Yeah, yeah.
you just take these artists and they love it and it's pure and they just make good music. And then when the business side gets into it, they
It
just
spoils the whole thing, you know what I mean?
it
Because it's
ruins it.
you can't. It's such a big part of it. It's such a big chunk of it. You know what I mean? Sadly, but I guess also like happily. You know what I mean? Like it's such a big chunk of it.
Yeah,
So it's like there's no way around it.
yeah. And only the greats are going to, like a Stevie, be able to navigate through the
Hmm.
ups and downs, trials and tribulations. What is the record company? What is the record
Yes,
business? You know,
yes, yes.
yeah, and Stevie's never been, always been very pro black, never swayed
Yeah,
in any
yeah.
direction. Nobody
Mm-mm.
can tell him, tone it down, don't do this, don't do that.
Uh-uh.
I
Uh-uh.
mean, Stevie took a knee with like
Yeah.
early on before it was like cool and all of
Before
that.
it was
Stevie
cool.
knew what was going on. Like, yo,
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely, definitely.
Stevie, but I'm sorry, man, but when you said Stevie, Ribbon in the Sky just literally just like, bro, Ribbon in the Sky is a beautiful. If somebody say play one song for me that describes music,
Yeah. No, definitely.
Ribbon in the
Definitely.
Sky. So what else was being played in your musical life, man?
Let's see. So I said Stevie, I definitely said the gospel stuff. I think honestly, I was in such a Christian church household, you know what I mean? Like I didn't my earliest uh kind of takes on rap were like Christian artists. There's an artist, I don't even know if people know. There's a Christian artist by the name of Carmen, who's like this like Latino guy. Like these are like my early like glimpses of rap. I didn't really get thrown into like hip hop until like literally in the most like coincidental way when I came to Atlanta. When I came to Georgia, it was like I remember riding in the car with my uncle. We'd be going to the movies or something, and you hear, Nelly hot in here. You hear 50 Cent in the club. You hear
It's just crazy, man. It's like speaking of Nelly, it was like for me when I moved to California, I remember like I was on punishment and I just got there and already on punishment for bad grades. But they like it was a family party, so they was like, "You go to this family party because it's our family."
Yeah.
And that first Nelly album in California was huge, bro. I mean,
I can only
out of
imagine.
this. And a song that's very underrated is that one at the end. Hey yo, ma, how you doing? It's your son now. And I picked up the mic and
What's
put
in there?
drugs down. It's at the end. It got that like it got an old
I'm gonna have
school
to.
beat to it. That better love in me. I was like, oh man, he
Oh,
used a sample. And I was like,
okay, okay,
yo, Nelly, this
okay.
album was crazy, crazy, man.
Yeah,
Like,
Nelly is definitely slept on, slept on. Like for just the impact that he brought into music as a whole. Because like I said, the initial time of me getting into really like hearing uh hip hop for real was like the people who was popping, Nelly, Snoop Dogg, Ti, 50 Cent for the longest was like my favorite rapper. For like, I was like, oh man, I want to be the youngest member of G Unit. This would be great. This would be
it
cool.
had a G Unit belt. Remember the belts when we was in high
Yes, man,
school?
the belt, the shoes.
The
I'm
belt
like
was
trying to
lit.
get a New York fitted just so I could look like 50. I'm like, I ain't even from the hood. Let me get a bulletproof vest. I
The look, man. Man. Unfortunately, my grandmother had passed. May she rest in peace. But we was in New York, and I'm from New York originally, but moved
oh,
all
for
over.
real.
But I moved all over, right? So we in New York when Get Rich or Die Trying drops. So
Oh
to
man.
purchase
Yes.
Get Rich
Yes.
or Die Trying
Yes.
in
Yes.
New York City.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
kids now they got it on their phone, so it's like,
Phones.
I
People
mean,
don't,
they
bruh, and see
forget like
that part,
yeah,
that part. People don't understand the real premise of like, yo, like you were so moved by an artist or a record that you say, yo, I got $10, I got $15, I'm going to the store and I'm purchasing this. This like it was like a toy. It was like waking up, it was like being a kid again.
bro. I mean, it's just like, but to purchase that in New York
Yeah,
City,
New York
if you
City.
purchase
Yeah.
if you purchase Urban Legend in Atlanta,
Yes.
Georgia,
Yeah.
if you purchase
Yes.
the speaker box, Love Below,
Low. Yes.
if you have the Chronic tape at the
Yes.
time, stuff like
Yes. It's
it's
different.
like that's what's not it's missing today because music
Yes.
is so disposable now that it's
Mm,
like,
mm,
I
mm,
mean,
mm,
I
mm,
gonna
mm.
hear 3,000 of these in a month, like different
No.
songs.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And we all got the same lingo. We all say ops. We all say cap. We all say we don't have our own regions no
It
more.
just,
Social
man,
media,
that part I talk about that all the time because the regions and the separation and the cultures, it's because we're all getting the same thing at the same time. And like you said perfectly, music is disposable to the sense when Friday comes and all these albums come out, I can pick through, okay, what do I want to listen to? If I don't want to listen to it, I can listen to it later. The chances of me listening to it later are slim to none because there's new music coming out every week. So 9 times out of 10, what am I going to? I'm either going to something that I'm already familiar with, or like for me lately, I've been listening to a lot of old music, like just 80s music, like 70s music, like just to get a different kind of vibe. Because like you said, we have no regions anymore when it comes to the music being made. Everybody is trying to create a similar sound or a similar vibe. And so I feel like for me, even as a from a rap perspective, I don't really get inspired listening to like rap. It had to be like a great, 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 great rap album. Not to sound like I'm just higher than mighty, but like that's just not what like inspires me now. I'm more inspired like, okay, what's the musicality on this? Or I like last year I was listening heavily, like 2020 and up to the Bee Gees. I never
how deep
ever,
is your love for me? How
man,
deep is your
the
love for me?
Bee Gees, the
Right.
Bee Gees. I mean, I've grew up always hearing about the Beatles. And it's like when I really got into the Bee Gees, I'm like, man, no disrespect, but forget the Beatles. The Bee Gees are like
Man, the
crazy. Like,
Bee Gees is like, because when I
I
was
don't,
in the fifth grade,
Yeah.
I like literally watched Saturday Night Fever as a
Mm,
kid, and it
mm,
was like,
mm.
yo, the Bee Gees, they make these songs and stuff like that. So in the fifth
Right.
grade, I got put onto the Bee Gees, like through a tape, like,
Right. 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 Right.
oh, and
Right.
I
Right.
heard How Deep Is Your Love, and I was like, yo, this song. And these are three white guys that are not from
Bruh.
America. I'm
Bruh.
like,
Singing,
bro.
singing in a way you've never heard before, dressing in a way that you weren't used to seeing. Like, I think that's what makes me, that's what inspires me now. Is like hearing music that's just gonna make me channel. Not saying I have to put on what the Bee Gees was wearing, but thinking from a perspective of like, yo, when you get this, when you experience this, when you see me, it's just that's what you see. Like versus, oh man, this is just another rapper.
And then, man, shout out to my brother G Merrick, great artist. Everybody go listen to it. He's the one who made this possible. He
For
connected
sure, for
us.
sure.
He put me on to you, and his music is amazing. And he's going to go very far in this life.
For
any
sure, for sure.
any direction he wants to go with music, he will go far. But me, I put him on to Saba, and me
Yeah.
and him went to both Saba concerts. And my brother
So
G
was tough.
Merrick was right there when I snuck my camera in that first Saba concert to
Mm,
take. I was like, I want to take concert photos, and I was like, dog, I think I'm just gonna do it. It's a small venue, and we
right.
for there. And then when he came out with Care for Me, he just dropped the album
Man, yeah, Care for
and
Me
then
was
just went on
crazy.
tour. He was just like, yo, the
Care for
album's
Me.
coming out this day and the tour
Right.
starts in a week. And it was like,
Yeah.
we don't even know
Yeah.
these songs like that. And it was like,
Yeah.
that what you say about disposable, that was art. And far as
Yeah.
being disposable, I didn't even know he just dropped an album until like 2 3
Yeah.
weeks ago. So
Yeah.
it just he man, that's art.
Yeah.
That like
No.
he that
No, for
care
sure. It was a moment. Care for Me was a moment. I think that's, almost in a sense, when music is so disposable, I can only really classify how good music is on how much of a moment it was in my life or how I felt when I heard it. So, like you said, when you said Care for Me is a snapshot of a time period because I remember the first time I heard it. I remember hearing how he was rapping, how he was delivering the subject matter. Oh wow, I'm inspired. Like you know what I mean? Like it's so much music, and we could easily say. I feel like even when we talk, the like the biggest sign of how disposable music is when you really get into conversations with people and they try to talk about who their favorite artist is and who this and who that. And if you turn the question around and you ask, oh, okay, well, dang, did you listen to like their last project? Nah, I ain't listened to that one, but I listened to da 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 da. Like somebody was having a debate with me over like J. Cole versus Kendrick. I'm gonna say Kendrick every time. That's just me. But they were saying, yeah, man, I don't know, J. Cole just so much better. And I was like, oh, for real? You listened to J. Cole last album? Nah. Okay, so wait,
yeah.
wait. How are you sitting here vouching for who is what? You didn't even listen because, like you said, it's so disposable. Where even the conversations people are having, it's just fluff. It's not even, you
Yeah.
know what I mean. You have some people that it's like you could really have a conversation with, but I feel like the general population, you can't really have thorough, well thought out conversations about good music because most people are relating good music off of just like a recent bias, like you know what I mean? Like, oh
Yeah.
man, this album just dropped, so this is the hottest thing, and not of the fact of like, no, this album when it dropped, it was a moment. I kept playing it back. I was listening to it for a while. That's like the real epitome of like good music. How much can you play it back? But in this time and social media and everybody can go to Twitter and everybody can go to Instagram and say, oh man, drop this album. Even though they probably won't talk about it next week. It's just
Bro.
crazy.
It's just like literally, I think for anybody younger that's listened to it, like, oh, you sound like just old people. The thing is,
Yeah.
5 years from now, them songs you banging now, are they still gonna be relevant for
Yes.
all people? I could put on
Yes.
Saba right now, Heaven All Around Me, and then people that maybe never even heard it,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
it's Heaven All Around. They like, yo, what is this? But like
Yes.
your
Yeah.
little songs, and right now what's hot is like taking old school songs and making drill songs of it. And
Yeah.
it's cool and it sounds cool, but how much of it is gonna last? And that's all we saying in a nutshell is that it's
Yeah.
not really gonna last like that. Be Saba, and then it's like, well, what can you tell me about this album? I can't tell you much, but I could tell you somebody direction on a Saba album. I could tell you a lot. I could tell you that whole album is based off of pain and depression.
Right, right,
The
right, right,
whole
right.
album, but can you tell me what this person's album was about? It's like the ops. I mean, like,
Right,
we
right,
gonna
right.
drill this? Like, I don't know.
Because that's the thing. That's the thing too. Like it's either the album has to be such a direct message, or you have to have just such a different sound. You know what I mean? Like it has to be one or the other. And so when you have so much music coming out at one time, it's easier for people to fall in the middle of the two rather than it being one or the other. You know what I mean? Like, do I feel uh yes, I feel like Kendrick or Saba music could stand the test of time. But in the same sense, when we talk about sound and how distinct it is, I could see somebody like a Thug, or I could see somebody like maybe even a Gunna, or somebody like years from now, people talking about them because the sound is distinct. Doja Cat, the sounds are
But
distinct.
Doja's a one, man. Yeah.
Doja slept.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
man,
And Young Thug is like literally me and my wife talk about like, yo, if I know what Young Thug is saying, I don't want to hear it. I just like the way
the
he puts
vibe,
the stuff together. Like it's soul
bruh,
music. It's soul
man.
music, literally soul.
The greatest explanation of Thug's music was somebody I had a mentor of mine was explaining. It's like, yo, when you listen to Thug, it's like you hear like think of an instrument, think of like a horn, or think of like that's the way he's delivering. And so when it changed my whole mindset, because I was like, dang, like,
Yeah. It's
you
like
know what I mean?
Stevie Wonder where everything is all right. It's the harmonica.
Yes,
Thug is the
yes,
harmonica. Is like
yes,
he
yes.
rocking to
Like
a
that's
song,
his
but
style. That's his style.
Thug is a beautiful harmonica that you ain't never heard.
Yeah, yeah,
Nobody, you didn't even know what a harmonica was. It's like he came up with auto tune for himself. It's like
yeah,
his
yeah,
voice is auto tune
yes,
by
yes.
itself. The way he pitches it and takes
Bruh,
it. I
come
mean,
on.
oh my God, man. It's soul music, is what I describe to people. And what I've learned
Mhm.
in my life, some of the songs that I love the most, I don't know all the words to. And you know why? Because I just feel it. I don't even
Yeah,
sit there and
yeah,
think about when I hear my mind's playing tricks on me. I can't tell you every single word, but I know
right.
that feeling and that beat when we
Yeah,
reminisce over you to Troy, like, Pete Rock and CL Smooth is like, yo, these songs, I can't tell you every single word, but I can tell you,
right.
I will never tell you to change that song when it comes on.
No,
It's
exactly,
a beautiful song.
exactly.
And
Eh,
music, soul music, man. That's the
So, like you said, that's the root, and I think it takes a lot of sense. You have to know the root and be connected to the root in order to bring it into the present where you can connect like that. Like you can't to think, you have. I think that's another thing. You have so many people making music that you know never even were interested in making music, because even the ability of making music is super accessible. Like get a laptop, the laptop already come with GarageBand, hook a mic,
yep.
you get a beat off of BeatStars, you're good, you gone. It's or even I do you one better, download a beat off of YouTube. Like
Um,
you're
and then
so
TikTok is making it accessible that like if you got something catchy enough, they are
yes,
signing people to
yes,
major deals and major
yes,
brands
yes.
off of like he caught one on TikTok and just,
TikTok. And bruh, it be some songs, not all songs, but I've heard certain songs that caught on TikTok, and the part that caught compared to the rest of the song was like not even like equivalent. I was like, yo, what in the world? Like I heard a song, I'm thinking it's one thing, and I was like, yo, this the same song.
yeah, it's just, I gotta definitely get on TikTok because everybody telling me like if you make content, you missing out if you not on TikTok. Like you have to do it. You have to
Mm,
do it. So I
mm,
thought it was more like a kitty kind of thing, but everybody is like framing it to me like if you're a content creator, like you literally could
Yeah,
catch one. Like you just have
yeah.
a video that just takes
I
off.
think I think initially I thought it was a kiddie thing, and then once I really got on there, because like I said, most of the videos I post on my story is because I seen it on TikTok, and so people would ask me to be like, "Well, why don't you just get it off of Instagram?" Well, the difference between TikTok and Instagram is my for you page on TikTok is literally like catered to me. I think that's the coolest thing about TikTok. If you had a TikTok, or even if I have a brother and a sister who have TikTok, they will show me videos I've never seen. I will show them videos they've never seen because our for you pages are completely different and complete. Like I'm thinking TikTok's just funny stuff, and then I'll go over there, look at my sister. She's like, "Oh, here's recipes, and here's like," and I'm like, "I didn't even know this exists on TikTok."
Yeah, you have to like in anything in life, you have to try it out for yourself before you judge
For sure.
it. You know, like
Yeah.
so, because I could just miss out on this whole big wave for myself in doing
Yeah.
podcasts because it's hard because podcast is extremely saturated,
Yeah.
oversaturated.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like I'm doing something different. I'm not talking about just music. I'm not talking about just anything. I'm talking about recorded conversation. This is recorded podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but yeah, man, it's just
Pause.
like, you just gotta try it out, man. You really do. But TikTok is definitely a place for like somewhere that's creative. And it seems
Yeah.
like the most creative, like funny people.
Yeah.
McDonough is not Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Atlanta is not McDonough.
Yeah.
Stuff
Go.
like
Go.
that is just like from that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you can't knock it till you try it. Speaking of knock it till you try it, going through school and your journey through school, what did you think you would be doing when you got out of school and stuff like that? Because that's really a challenging time for most people and
Yeah.
figure it out. Like, so what was your like your last like senior year going into adulthood? What was the thought process like of what it was
My
gonna be?
it's crazy. My senior year going into adulthood was right at the time where I kind of had my mind set on music, like for real. I think there were years before, when I was younger, I had a little time period where I was like, I wanted to rap, but I wasn't really rapping. And then maybe I just thought that was an idea. Like even as a kid, thinking about, dang, like making beats or having my own studio when that seemed impossible. Then. You know what I mean? That seemed like, oh, you're gonna be rich and do that. Like, and then so for me, it wasn't really until like my junior year, my sophomore, junior year was around the time where I had some friends that, they had some type of recording equipment. We would go in my homie Shaq's basement. We would record, and I was completely against it at first. Like I was like, oh, I don't think it's something I can do. I'm not really into it. Da 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 da. I just thinking like I didn't have the ability, and it was those same friends, same group of friends, like I remember sitting there one day and I said something and they were like, "Oh man, yo, that's good. You should record that. You should record that." And it just kind of kept going from there because then it becomes, I always tell people as challenging as it is to figure out what you're doing in high school, it's so important to at least put your foot in one thing before you graduate because that is the biggest guaranteed audience that you have. Like college, man, it could be like dropping a penny in a lake. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you could go and your experience could be everybody knows you and you could do that. But high school is like a guaranteed audience. Every day, y'all gonna be in the same vicinity around the same people. They see you, they know you, they can get to know you. Why not work that there? So I always tell people that like whatever you're trying to do, like even if you're not sure, just stick your foot in it there because it is a lot harder trying to do it after the fact. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of no matter how much time has went on, people still acknowledge me like, oh, ironic, because I established that back then. So everything past that is just reinventing and growing on top of what was there versus like coming out the let's say I didn't do anything in high school, then all of a sudden I'm like, oh hey, I think I wanna, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, they ain't even worried about you
Yeah, yeah. It's just so important because it's just like for me as an adult and stuff like that in social media, it's like, okay, well, you got to get followers and this and that. And for me, like, I'm kind of a private person and I see the tool that social media was.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not going to be too heavy on it. I'll have it, have a couple friends, whatever. But if I was in high school, your followers
yeah.
would be like out of this
Of the
world. It's
world,
literally
yes, yes,
free
yes,
marketing for yourself
yeah,
being in high
yes.
school. Like, it's like, dog.
And then that's the thing too. So it's like, the time period of senior year too was Instagram just came out for real. Like when I was a senior, Instagram had just dropped. Like, so, but even Instagram then is not Instagram now.
No, they
You
had
get what I
no
mean?
video and stuff
No
like
video, no video, no DMs, no. If you was gonna write a post or something, you had to go to like your notes app and type it up and then screenshot it, and then like it was just different, man. It was different. It wasn't the same. So I think for me, the social media thing was an aspect, but it wasn't even something I'm thinking. I'm really thinking from the mindset of no social media. I'm just thinking once again, this is my guaranteed audience. I'm not thinking I could reach the world or none of that. I think one of my biggest motivations for really taking the music direction at a crucial time as that was shortly into my senior year. I had lost my dad, rest in peace to him. And so I was fiddling in the music thing all before then, but it was like between like I took a ambassador trip to Italy my junior year going into my senior year, came back, literally spent like a month with my dad. He passed the top of September. And so it was just kind of like, it just kind of clicked in my mind, like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, like, you just going to have to do this. Like, there's no reason, there's no excuse. The weirdest story I always give people is I remember really being in like somewhere between my junior and senior year and really trying to like figure out like, okay, I want to do a project this year, but man, I don't know what I'm gonna do it on, man. I don't know. Like, what's my story? What's my story? I don't know what my story is. And trying to figure that out. And I'm like, I grew up in a 2-parent home. I'm living in the suburbs. What's my story? I don't know my story. And I think one of the weirdest, well, not weirdest, but I really take it as a God thing. Like, I remember literally the same night that my dad had went to the hospital and all this, and I'm like praying and hoping, like, oh no, he gonna be straight, he gonna be straight. But it was like I knew in my mind, like I felt like God was like, here's your story, here's your story. And I was like, nah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a rough story. Like, hey, do you want this 50 Cent story of getting shot 9 times? Like, I mean, he got a pretty cool life after it, but do you want that? Like,
that right, right,
hey,
right,
tonight you're
right.
gonna get shot 9 times. Are you ready? One of them's
Look,
gonna be in your face.
right. Or do you want to get in the car crash and lose your jaw? Is that what you want? And you have your jaw still shut. Is that what you want?
My God. So you mean tonight, or like tonight? Like, no,
Yeah.
tonight it's gonna happen. Like, you want that, and these are all before these people became then. So in
Yeah.
that, let's go on that. Like, in loss provides a
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah.
What gave you the strength and motivation to stay strong and keep going after a hard loss? Rest in peace to your father, like losing a parent. What gave you the strength and motivation to even dream and create? What gives you that? Because a lot of people, they just
Mm,
live in life and they just depressed and they just down,
yeah.
they out. They didn't lose their dad. They didn't um
Yeah. Yeah.
my brother G married, they didn't go through cancer. They didn't do
Right. Right.
none of this stuff. And they
Yeah.
can't find the motivation. So he had the motivation to rap. You have the
Yeah.
motivation to make beat. What gives you that after something so traumatic in your life?
I definitely think it's the foundation for me. Like I said, I've been in church as long as I can remember. And so I think that was one of the times that really helped really define my relationship with God. But even outside of a spiritual sense, it was just kind of like you I remembered the words like, yo, this is your story. I remember the fact that no matter what I did, my dad was always supportive of what I would do. And between having siblings and trying to be there for my mom. I really was in a mode where I was like, I have to kind of be the person to kind of keep going. Not saying that I didn't just like take that moment, but I didn't feel like I had the time to even like sit in a slump for real. Um, or at least a long slump because there's people under me, not my mom necessarily, but my siblings, you know what I mean? Like they're looking to me. Like, I don't know. I just felt like I was kind of, it was like an automatic like click of like, oh, yo, like, well, dang, like you look, this is what you, if this is what you're gonna do, this is what you gotta do, and you gotta make it happen. And I always tell people, you know, I think the biggest deception a lot of times is us thinking we need more than what we already have. Like, oh man, like I'm always telling people now, like different. I do audio at a church. And I talk to like students or my little brother, and I'm always putting people in a space of like, okay, you say this is what you want to do, okay, bet, do it with no resources. Like, do it, do it with the minimal amount of resources. Because if you figure out how to do it with the minimal, come on, literally, like if you can do it with the minimal resources, that's what's gonna define how much you really want to do it. Like at the point me and my homies were saying we want to record and stuff like that, it wasn't, we not okay, bet, go get the Yamaha speakers and go get a, like, no, we're using a rock band mic, we're using somebody's computer, we're looking, we might use Audacity. Like you just have to, I think that's kind of where we kind of sell people short. My brother, he was looking ever since he was younger. I was trying to really get him into photography, and so when his senior year came around, I was like, "Oh, bro, like if you really gonna do this photography thing, like, hey, you know, I got a camera. You could literally be booking shoots every Sunday or something, trying to work on your craft, da 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 da." Like, because I'm not about to buy you a camera until I've seen you do what you like. I don't know, like some part of like giving people everything that they think they need for it kills the hunger and drive to like really figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean, like, I don't know, it's something about working with minimal resources. And so that's why I always encourage people, like, you know, do what you like, do what you got to do with what you have. Like, don't, you want to shoot a vlog, don't go buy a camera, don't go buy, just start with you have a, I'm pretty sure you got a smartphone. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you got a
Yeah.
smartphone. People are always shocked. I when I say, oh man, they be like, dang, bro, you be recording in your garage. What'd you be using? Bruh, like I have one camera, but outside of that, like it's my iPhone. It's my iPhone. It's just my iPhone.
And the garage sessions that you make, man, I would encourage everybody to go watch them and go see them because it comes out amazing, man. And that's how I got put on to you. I was like, wow, man.
Wow.
Like, so where do you get the motivation to just like, hey, man, I'm gonna try something because it's something I did not see. It was something
Wow.
different, you know. I was just like, in the angles and the way you was doing it, it just felt
Mm,
like you had your own concert in your garage by yourself. It's like,
right.
hey y'all,
Right.
I'm inviting y'all into my personal concert. Like, so
Mm,
what was it for you to have that like motivation to do it like out the garage for real? Like, and come up with that concept and that ideal. I mean, it was the pandemic when I seen it. I don't know if you were doing
yeah.
it before then, but a
The
lot of people
I,
were getting creative at that time.
a lot of people were getting creative during the pandemic. I think the crazy thing was I was writing down this idea before the pandemic, like probably like a year before the pandemic. I was like, I was really like, man, I should do these sessions in my garage. This would be cool. And the only reason I didn't do it at the time because I was like, well, I probably need to get like some speakers, or I probably need this, I probably need that, I probably need this. And the more I started like really, when 2020 hit, it was kind of just like I'm at home, like I don't know what, you know, everybody had a different 2020. My 2020 was I was literally like at the crib like every day, like every day,
I see these four walls
it's
again.
four walls. I, you know, 2020 was the craziest, weirdest, strangest, funnest, weirdest time. It's a mix of things because there's a part of me in 2020, like I felt like a kid again because I didn't have work to go to, and I was sitting at home. Like there was weeks I was just playing video games, like never before,
Hard in the
like
paint.
hard in the paint. I was like, oh man, what y'all be playing Fortnite? Let me try it out. And was actually thoroughly enjoying it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was a time frame where I was just going. But I think I kind of just had this time period. I was experiencing like heartbreak at the time, and had just got done with like literally went through like a rough patch after like a 6 year relationship. And between that, and this is all the top of my 2020, like literally, like, you know what I mean, like top of
Mid March,
2020
mid March of 2020 is when the world changed. So
changed my whole world changed literally. And so I think, initially I was kind of in a slump for a little bit, and I think once it hit about May, I was like, you know what, I need to do this concept. I've been talking about it, let me do it, let me figure it out. And I think once I really started doing it, we were talking about earlier about the fact of you just got to do it and experiment. I'm like, really testing myself, like, dang, bro, like all you gotta do is go down to your garage and at least test some angles, test what it looks like. You don't even gotta go far. And you're sitting here making this the most thing. But it really do be that in your mental, like it could be as simple as you just pulling out your camera and trying something we don't want to try because we feel like it has to be perfect, instead of realizing that it doesn't get better until you like try it and do it. And so garage sessions was, it was a creative way to present my content, represent my content, present new content, kind of a point of promotion for myself. But it also was like healing, you know what I mean? Like I really took pride and took, like, there was a release in stepping in the garage. There was a way and form, and not in just how I recorded it, but how I would deliver the performances. There's we doing it a certain amount of times, and you messed up on this lyric, like, if it's not that bad, just keep it, because we don't. I always say you have to be somewhere in between the authenticity and perfection. It can't be too perfect. If it's not perfect, it's not authentic. But you want it to be good for the people. Like, I'm always big on, raw art well done. Like the art being raw itself, but well done in a way
that's a bar. I gotta steal that from
that's like,
yo,
I
man.
know I stand on that.
Rawness well done is a
Yeah.
bar, bro. Whoa.
That's I literally, it's in my Instagram bio and everything. Like I stand on the fact of giving people raw art well done. Like meaning the art is raw because it's coming from me and I'm giving you a perspective maybe that you didn't even know that I would dive into. Maybe it's me being vulnerable, but it's well done because the way that I am preparing it for you is in a way that you can digest and you can eat it and you can partake in what I'm saying or what I'm trying to get to you.
Man, and two
So,
things I'm gonna go on for what you just said.
mhm.
Uh Number one is the healing. I think we have this cliche of like, you need to get over that. You need to get over
Yeah,
that relationship. You need to get over
yeah,
losing this person. You need to get over. I think these are the wrong words. I think we have to really get into that healing place, because
yeah,
healing is literally my knee hurts. It's been hurting me. It's a problem. That's a relationship.
yes,
That's a job. That's this. This is your knee.
yes,
So
yes,
go in and you get surgery, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna
yeah,
hurt really bad. It's gonna
yeah,
be painful. You're gonna wish
yeah,
that you just left it the old way, but you
yeah.
did it. But then they said 6 to 8 weeks from now, we're gonna
You'll be
rehab
good.
you, we're gonna give you
Yeah.
different things. Then you
Yes.
brand new. Then you feel like, man, I don't even know what it feels like to be in that pain no more.
Yes.
That's healing, ladies
Healing.
and gentlemen.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
not getting over it, because getting over it is like, my knee hurts today, but it didn't hurt tomorrow, but the next day it is going to hurt. But when I go
Yeah.
in and get that surgery, I got a brand new knee. Is
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
everything new now. So
Yeah.
healing is important, and also vulnerability is important. I put up something
Mm-hmm.
today. I was scared. I was going to do it yesterday, but I was like, Just do it today and just put it out. I had it in my drafts. I was like, man, I want to do a poem under some lights. And I like had a
Yeah,
man, it's about like letting your tears go and everything. I'm like, man, people don't think I'm soft and this and that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
think, what are
yeah,
you trying to rap now? What are you
yeah,
trying to do?
yeah,
Poems?
yeah,
Why is it
yeah,
red? Why is it a light back there? Who
yeah.
cares, bro? Vulnerability, and I put the meaning, the
Mhm,
definition of vulnerability is the taking of a risk of emotional or physical harm. That's
mhm,
vulnerability. And most
mhm.
of it is that everybody's too much in their head.
Yes.
I don't know if they're gonna how many likes,
Yeah,
how many
yeah,
views. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Maybe they're gonna think I'm
yeah,
this. Maybe they're gonna think who
yeah.
cares, bro.
Just
Put
do it.
yourself out there, man, and be vulnerable and allow yourself because you'll be surprised. Because I know something that you created. You thought it was
Mm,
okay, and other people thought it was great, but the
never
stuff
said.
you thought was great, they was like, eh.
Well, it was okay.
Oh, the pain of being a creative, ladies and
The
gentlemen.
pain, the pain of being a creative. You think you know, you don't. You don't.
Oh, yeah,
You
that the
you never
old
do.
school MTV Diaries. You think you know, but you have no idea.
You have no
Oh
idea.
my god, it's
And
like
then
bad.
even what you said about the healing thing, even when I talk to people who deal with loss and all that, like I'm always the first thing I'm saying to people is like, yo, feel how you feel. Like take the time to just feel how you feel. Because the comments will be full of stay strong, stay strong. This you'll be better. Don't worry, get well, and it's
Prayer
like, no,
emojis.
yeah, the prayer, like, yo, if you're not strong right now, don't try to be strong. Be where you are, stay where you are right now. You can't stay here, but it's important that where you are right now, you take that in. And so I think that is healing. That is healing. It's not ignoring how you feel. Like you said, get over it. It's not ignoring the knee and just limping for months, for months, for months without addressing it, without doing the proper things that need to be done. But it's really being present in how you feel right now. Like I'm very big on that because we have so many ways to escape how we feel. Oh man, I feel down. Let me make a post. Let me make a braggadocious post. This will feed me up. This is like, no, you gotta take time to just feel how you feel. Like let it be what it be so that you can really heal, so that you can really learn in this moment and really evolve rather than faking the whole thing.
And that's what like that's why and this is man, this whole man, we in a music nerd bag of greatness. This is a great interview, man. Because we just like how music and everything. Like I was sitting there listening to Cleo Soul, and she has a song called
Mhm.
Sideways. And it
Okay.
just is like about people being by your side. And my whole life, I wanted that nurturing. I needed to be coddled. I wanted that, you know.
Hmm.
I found
Hmm.
that in my wife, a good thing. They say when you get married, when you find a wife, you find a good thing. I
Good
had
thing.
that.
Yeah.
I had that
Yeah.
before. I have it now, all of that. But in
Yeah.
that song, she says, they're gonna call you crazy because they threatened by what you're gonna be. So vulnerability is they gonna
Mm.
say, nah, man, don't do that. Ah,
Yeah.
that's whack. That's this.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
threatened by what you're gonna
What you
be.
gonna be?
That's
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
is. You have
Yeah.
to learn that. That's what I try to teach kids and stuff like that. Like when people see greatness in you, they want to bring it down. And it's
Yes.
not
For
a
sure.
personal attack. It's just an
Mm-mm.
attack on themselves that like, why I don't have that?
Yeah.
Why
And
I
sometimes
ain't got that? I don't like that, man.
I think a lot of times they don't even notice that they're seeing greatness. They just know they're seeing something they're not used to seeing. And because it's not what they're used to seeing, automatically people are going to attack it. Automatically people are going to try to put it down. And I think that's why you have to do little exercises, do little things to just challenge that. Something I started doing 2020, I felt like when I was in high school, I was very like, oh man, we're just gonna, like, me and my friends, we would be like, oh, we're gonna wear a tie to school with our shirts tucked in, da 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 da. And I think, you go through adulthood and things damper on you, you kind of lose parts of you. And I think when 2019, 2020 hit, I said, you know what, I'm going back to just taking the risk, and something that I started doing If you see me at any time, I'm wearing socks and sandals. Only time I'm not wearing socks and sandals is
That's one of
when
my questions. Is like
I'm
Sandal Gang is out here, man. Talk about the Sandal Gang and what gives you, man. And I love it because it's like, bro, dude is living his life, man. Just what grow. Let's go on that. What gave you the
yeah,
what gives you the
yeah,
freedom and the vibe? Like, man, this hat, they like, dog, this red hat. It's like, bro, I see you with this red hat. I see you with this red hat. Like, what is it with this red hat? I'm like, number one is comfortable. That's what I want to get through to you guys. That's number one. Okay. Hey, buddy.
let's start there. Let's start
Let's start
there.
right there, bucko.
Yes,
It's
yes,
very
yes,
comfortable. And it
yes,
makes me
yes,
feel a warmth. It makes me feel at home. It makes me feel peace.
yes,
But number two,
yes,
I'm gonna turn this hat into a brand. It's literally
man,
in my logo. So when you
yes,
see the red hat, and when you see
yes,
the red hat, and when you see
yes,
the red hat, and then the
yes,
red hat becomes a brand, and the red hat
yes,
becomes other people wearing the red hat, and when the red
exactly.
that's a recorded hat. That's a
Yeah,
recorded hat. That
yeah,
literally is gonna
yeah,
become the red hat will become Coca-Cola. When they say, even if you
mm,
want a Pepsi somewhere, do you got Coke? Oh, I got Pepsi. It's the same thing. I'm
yes,
gonna turn that into something.
yeah,
They say
yeah,
whenever you have a brand, turn it into Coke, where
yeah,
everything Kleenex is one brand, but everybody gonna call it a tissue, a Kleenex. Everybody's
yes,
gonna call a
yes,
Coke,
yeah.
a soda, a Coke. You want to turn your brand into
Mhm,
that. The
yes,
garage sessions, like, yo, that's my boy, man. Hey, he does it. We're gonna call it that. Like, it's his thing. Like, that's what he
yeah.
does. So it's like that's what you want to do, man, with your art, man. And you want to do whatever you want to do. And one thing that I've been preaching to people, and I seen that you went there as well, the getaway house, brother. Let's
Oh man, yo,
let's go.
yo.
Let's go.
Come
I
on,
just I just came back from my second time. No biggie, man. You know what I'm saying? Big money getters over here. You heard? Went on that
look,
crazy nursing discount from my
man.
wife. Shout out her being a
Yo,
nurse
shout
because
out to the wife.
we got a discount. But man, the getaway house is literally a
Yes,
place
yes,
where you
yes,
disconnect to
yes.
reconnect. So, what is
I
your getaway house experience, man?
man, honestly, that time, last time I went, I think that's my third time going,
Oh man, one
and
up on me.
I've
Okay,
got,
to your own home.
I've gotten. Now, granted, I technically I've only been two times to connect. I went one time to shoot a video, so two times
Okay,
by default.
all right.
But I think after this last experience, I'm gonna have to make it like a regular, even if it's just once a year, because people will see you go, man. They'll see you go. They'll see post a little pictures and say, "Oh man, that looks so cool." Like I'm like, you need to go. Like but people, it's one of those things you're so worried about. Well, what about this and what about that? And
If
what?
somebody
And I'm like,
comes
bro,
stabs me in the cabin,
man,
like,
yo, I hear that all the
hey,
time, and
I'm
I'm like,
going to the getaway house, not Crystal Lake, my guy. Like,
bruh,
relax, bro.
bruh, Pete, bruh. I'm telling you, bruh, it was. I think the last time solidified it because last time it didn't even go how you would expect it to go. Like I went out there, it rained, like rain for like the whole day. By the time it got nighttime, the power went out. So I'm in the getaway with no power, bro. No power.
Last time I went, there was no power for like 2 hours, but right when it got dark, it came back on.
Mine, it was dark, but I had the lantern, so I was fine. But it just recharged me to disconnect. That's the whole reason you're there. So it's not like you're gonna be there like, ah, man, the power went out, man. I want a refund. Like, no, it's like this is the experience. Like, you really have to like. I don't know a better experience than because bro, you could go stay at a hotel for the weekend. That is not the same.
No.
That is not the same. That is not the
And
same.
that's what
Like
we
I,
did with
I
the
read,
power, man. It was just like,
yeah,
yo, it was like, okay, well, they told us the power's out. I mean, we got enough cover. We could sleep in like some like pajamas or something, and then we
right.
can just charge the lantern and charge our phone as much as possible, or we could just go to the car. But when you're there, it's something special about not caring about the regular things you used
Yes, You don't, man. I sat there, I read, I was reading, I was recording, I was sitting in silence. I would put on like worship music. I did everything, anything you could think of. I'm just sitting there really zoning in. Even the factor of sitting in a getaway with the power out and the water hitting on the cabin, there's so much inspiration in that. Like, I was just sitting there like, man, like you're just forced to take it in. And so I be trying to tell people, bro, but they don't be wanting to hear. They tell me the same thing you said. Like they be like, "Oh, what if I get stabbed?" I'd be like, "Bro, just go."
And then just this whole conversation is just based off of music, because like Summer Walker to me is one of the greatest artists that's misunderstood. She don't
Mhm.
really like performing and everything, but her art
Yeah,
is so amazing that it don't
yeah.
matter. I don't care what she does. I'm here for the music. Her
Look,
music is
she in
amazing,
the.
man. And
Mhm,
one thing
mhm.
I told somebody about music, and like you said, that water dripping, in one of her songs, right? She has a song and it's like talking about heartache and pain, and she just on a guitar, and it's like threw away your love letters, started making me feel better. I'm
Yeah,
sending
yeah,
you,
yeah,
I'm sending you one text at a time. I know you see it. Pick up your line. You know what? These words are beautiful. You know what made me think this song was amazing and real? In
yeah.
that song, if you listen to it, I need to find the name of it.
Mhm,
You can hear
mhm.
the fire alarm going beep in the back. I'm
Oh, it's I
literally
think it's session 32. Session, I think it's session 32.
I'm literally the nerd that like this is what made that
Yeah,
song
that
be
song.
from
Yeah.
good
Even the way
to
it's
great.
recorded, even the way it's recorded, it's
It
not
sound
recorded. It's on some raw, like, bruh. Yes, yes, yes,
oh my
yes.
god. I need you to know that you don't know what love is. And I'm like literally, I'm in pain right now. And I'm
Yeah,
about to write this song. I'm about to press record on GarageBand right now, and I'm putting this song on my album, dog. And
right,
my fire alarm don't hurt. I'm fucked up in the head right now. Like I feel really bad.
right. It don't
I
even.
am
It don't
hurt.
even matter. It don't even matter because it's getting the emotion.
And
Mm.
then people at work looked at me like I didn't even notice that. It's like, dog, I listen when
Yeah,
I
I listen.
feel music,
Yeah,
I receive music. I don't just
yeah,
listen
yeah,
to it. Music feeds my soul, my
yeah,
spirit.
yeah,
Like it really
yeah,
does.
yeah.
And that song from that heartache is like, bro, I'm in a room and the fire alarm, the battery needs to be changed. I don't have
Yes,
no beat. I just got an acoustic guitar. I don't have
guitar.
a
Yeah,
studio. I don't have
I
nothing but
I
pain.
just got to get it out. I just got to get it out.
And
Mm.
that's what we're preaching to these people. It's like whatever it is in this life, and that's what this is recorded about, is having conversations with people about life and their art, and motivating you the listener to do what is you want to do, because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
try
yeah.
it. That's all
Just
I'm
try it out.
saying. I'm sharing
Yeah,
stories with you of people that just trying it and they love
yeah,
it and they
yeah,
find peace in it, man, and just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
keep going, man. That's all I got
And
for anybody.
like you said, the fact of finding peace, you know what I mean? Like, and being content in that, finding peace in it. And it's like, you're gonna have to try some things to figure out like what it is that's just like, oh man, it's just you. You might not feel the most comfortable initially, but at the end of the day, like just like you said with the beanie, like I'm at peace when you know what I mean? Like same thing with it. Like nobody could come to you and say, "Damn, bruh, why you got on the red beanie? Man, why don't you try a different color?" It don't even matter to you because you're such at peace. It's like the equivalent with the sandals. And so it's one of those things. I want that for everybody, but that's why I be telling people too. You know, you got to take the time to challenge the things that you think you know about yourself because you could be wrong. You
Yeah.
could be wrong. The information could be outdated.
Yeah, yeah. And what it is for me is like I think it really clicked because we was talking beforehand before we got on recording. It was like 2020 is like, yo, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's
Yes,
like very
bruh.
painful and weird. 2021 it didn't get any better. In 2022, it's like, look, we know what it is now. It's time for
Yes,
you, as in
yes.
you listening, to make a decision on
Decision.
what it
Yes,
is out of you want out of this life. You done seen 2 years of the
Yes.
worst of the worst of the
Worse.
worst. We're
Yeah.
currently
Yeah.
seeing war, but
Yes.
I sit there and sympathize and pray for these people, but I also know from my spirit I cannot let these negative things keep
Mm.
entering my body and ruining
Yes.
this peace that I worked so hard for
Hard to get. Yes.
34 years of my life
Yeah.
to get
Yes.
to
Yes.
this point in my life.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't let nothing
Yes.
penetrate this realm that is you. That's what
Right.
this life
Right.
is about, man.
And that's the thing too. I love the fact that you said, "Dang, 2020 was what 2020 was. 2021 was worse than 2020, and now 2022." And it's like really the only thing that's changed the most out of this is perspective. Because if
Hard.
I had the perspective that I had from 20, the perspective I had now, like yes, I was in the garage, but there's certain things I was like, "Dang, bro, I should have dipped more into this. I should have did this." But the mentality of like, well, I don't know what's gonna happen. What if da 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 da? Like God they got money coming in, but I'm like, I don't know. What if I need to hold it? Cause da 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 da. Like just not thinking, you know what I mean? So it's that same notion is the same thing that'll keep you from trying things. Like when I first was looking at some sandals, I was like, I don't know, man, what they gonna say? That look kind of goofy. I don't know. Like you just have to do it, man. You just have to do it because the one thing that you try could be the you find peace in there. There's like peace. Look, there the Bible talks about peace that passes all understanding. I don't think we really like break that down for real. Like we don't really we just say, oh, peace that passes all on it. Like, no, like we're looking for a peace that it don't even matter if the people around you understand. And so 2022, yes, like you said, it's war, it's these things going on. But there's a peace I have, right? Like that exceeds what those might understand. And people are going to test or try to say things because they just don't understand. And honestly, that's even more peaceful because it's just like, I know you don't understand.
Getting real levels of peace is being at peace, like you said, knowing that
Yeah.
you don't get it, but I love you in spite of it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Like that's why
Yeah.
on this podcast, I don't bring no drama, no negativity.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
war in every all the time. Why do I want to remind you of it again?
Mm.
Why do
Mm-hmm.
I want to feed my spirit with bad images? When I wake up in the morning, I sit and pray. And one of my prayers is that, hey, for the person that's hurting that I have no idea that's around
Mm.
me, give them that
Yeah.
peace today. Give
Mm.
them that peace.
Mm.
The
Mm.
person that I'm walking by every day that I think is fine, that I
Right.
don't know, please
Right.
give them that peace. And these are the people at war and dealing with these things. Like that's praying for them before all of this even happened.
This.
These
Yes.
are things,
Yes.
but
Yes. Yes.
you
Yes.
have to know yourself and know like I'm a super emotional person, so I cannot get emotionally too much invested in certain things because it'll
Mm-hmm.
ruin this whole piece. I could sympathize, I can try to
Yeah.
find ways to help out or what can I
Right.
do, but when I like this podcast is that piece that I'm giving people for that
Mm.
hour or so. Like this is
Yeah.
the piece you're gonna get. This is your medicine that you're gonna get to keep
Mm.
going and motivate you for your day that you heard somebody else's story while you build on your own story is what.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, you really, man, that's really it, man. We could talk all day, man. I got so many questions I didn't even get to, man, but man, I guess we just talk. Let's just talk about your music. I guess to end it out, like what was like the first couple beats or music that you just felt like you did like, I think I got something here. Well, what was that feeling like when you was like, I
I
think I
think
got something.
I think there's two iterations of that. There's the iteration of like finally connecting lyrics together, even if it was on somebody else's beat, and you're like, okay, I think I got something. I think I got something. And then that transforms into, oh no, no, no. Now I got like a song. And this ain't even somebody else's beat. This my beat. I don't not my beat, but this is a beat I found. And I'm creating it, creating my own pockets. I think a different level though was definitely with producing though, because at the point that I was producing, I was like, oh, like when I was like with the EP I did, which was called What Summer Was, I produced like 75% of it. So it was like to do that and then to put it out there and then people to connect like, oh yo, I love this record. It was different. It was completely different because it was like, oh, like okay, I do know something. Like I like because
Yeah.
it's one thing to just be the rapper providing lyrics or just writing a verse or something, but to be there for the whole process and then someone say, "Oh man, I'm messing with that." It's a different level of like, okay,
Man. And
yeah,
it's just I know that euphoria state of like, whoa, man. Like I think I got something. And I feel like for me right now, it's like I've been working and then I'll do a podcast and I'll take it off. Then maybe I should do it with this person. Maybe I should do it this way. Maybe I should do it.
mm,
But the more you take cracks at it, I got a text message from man, always get text messages from my brother G Mary, like, hey man, this podcast helped me. This is great.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
inspiring to see you keep going. It's inspiring to see because he's been there
yeah,
since the inception of it. So he's like,
yeah,
he's seen the level up. He's seen that I started, then I stop it. Then he knows personal stories in my life of things I went through.
mm,
So he's like,
mm-hmm,
hey man, and you still went back to it. You
right,
know,
right,
kept going. So it's just like to see that level up is amazing for people. And that's what people, man, you gotta keep fighting for that level
yeah,
up in your life. You can't
yeah,
give up that journey because when you feel
mm-hmm,
that feeling, because right now I feel like I'm in that. Yo, I'm a rookie in the league. I scored 12, but I made Sports Center number 7.
yeah,
Then I scored 20 points, 8 assists.
right,
Then I scored 35 in the playoff loss. We
yeah,
got swept. But people like, yo, who that dude? And then
yeah.
shout out my boy. A couple nights ago, I had that 50 ball. My name is John Morant, baby. Let's go, man. I'm John Morant, baby. I'm coming. I'm telling you, man. This is recorded, baby. I banged it on a 7-footer and I scored a 50 burger,
Look,
baby.
that Ja had a night, bro. Ja
Bro,
had a night.
and
Ja
that's
had a
where
night.
I feel like right now is I'm gonna make the playoffs as an eighth seed, but they gonna feel me this year. They gonna
Yeah,
feel me, man. Like I'm
yeah,
gonna make the playoffs. I'm gonna be scratching at it.
right.
Y'all don't see too many of my games, but when they seen the boy, they was like, he got
Oh, he
something.
like that.
And
He
but
like that.
we gonna see if he gonna last, and that's the test for all of
Yeah,
us. Is you gonna quit?
yeah,
Huh?
yes,
Is you gonna
yes,
quit when it get a little
yeah,
hard? Is you gonna quit on me, or is
yes.
you gonna keep going?
And that's the thing, you don't act like things aren't hard. If you have to take time, but be determined to keep coming back, to keep showing up, to keep, you know what I mean? It's not about the fact of just like robot mode, nothing affects me. I'm just because you have to be real with yourself. You have to be real about how you feel in certain things. But then even with that, like you have to address what that is. Is this doubt? Is this like, no, I got other things I'm dealing with externally going on right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to assess these things, but at the end of the day, like let your root and let your heartbeat be like, I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep going at it.
Exactly. And now, what do you do? What is your well, or what is your piece that you go to when you're having a hard time in life, or just not feeling it for a day or a couple of days? What do you do to try to bring yourself back to like, I'm gonna go create again, and I'm gonna be peaceful again?
I think it's a mix. It's one thing for me for sure is like doing the complete opposite. So like if I'm really feeling down, I might have to like since 2020 I've really gotten into running. I run outside, I run like 3 miles, like just run. And that's something that's so separate from music that it kind of just centers me because it reminds me that I'm living, and it reminds me that in the fact that I'm living, life is a gift. Like something about like because it's like when I'm running, like I go like on a like down the street, I'm looking at trees, I'm looking at nature, I'm feeling what the weather feels like, I'm seeing the sun shining, like it's something in there that's a reminder of like, okay, anything that is outside of this is not even real. This is what's real. Like what I'm around, what God created, that's real. Another thing I do for sure, I have made it a weekly routine that the top of my weeks, I am not on social media. Like Monday, typically maybe Monday, Tuesday. Like let's say I do Monday, but I was kind of sliding on Monday. I might go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've had times I've gone the whole week just because I was not doing it as. But the goal is at least Monday to reset, to really, if that's work on music, it might be, but primarily I'm not on a screen looking at other people's lives, looking at, I'm feeding myself. I'm going on YouTube watching things. I'm looking for inspiration. Uh I'm just allowing myself to just be because I've learned, how much I can literally pinpoint. Like sometimes I'll be having a great day, just vibing, and you go on the gram or something, and you scroll, and I can see a post, and a post shift my whole mood. Like
If you see a kid get blown up or something right now, it's like, bro, I
even
can't do this right
even that.
now,
But
man.
the thing too, like even on the real side, like it could be that. It could easily be somebody that you know does something that you do, and you see them, you're like, dang man, they're doing good, man. They actually like, bruh.
We
It's
could
so
go
many.
for hours on that. Comparison is
Yeah,
the thief that
thief. Yes,
robs you of joy.
yes. So I
Comparison
have
is the
to.
thief.
I'm gotten to a point where God has allowed me to be very mindful of what my state of mind is, what I'm thinking about, and how I feel. To the point that when it alters, I'm now reverse engineering. Like, okay, what did I see that had me do that? Okay, let me attack that thought. What is the root of that? What is, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't think I'd be able to do that if I was just stuck in the realm of like scrolling every day. Like it's about, it's to the point now, Monday is literally like a day I look forward to. Like, oh man, I'm not even gonna be on the
Instead
social
of
media. That's
dreading
great.
it. Instead of
Yeah.
dreading it,
At
man.
first it was a dread. At first it was a dread. Like, oh no, like I don't even dread it. I'd be like, look, if somebody messaged me, I'd be like, I hope we're gonna finish this conversation soon because I'm
Yeah.
gonna see you Tuesday.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, for me, I noticed that like man, 2022 is like I really made it my business. I'm gonna be the best me. And part of the best me, I always knew that social media was like it's the comparison thing, it's the negativity thing, it's the did you see this? Did you see that? I find
Yeah,
joy in not knowing nothing. It
yeah,
feels so good to like a Snooty Wild is somebody that got murdered recently, and it's just like he has a special place because my family, the Nene was big, and I played the Snooty Wild Yayo for the kids, and they used to love to dance to that
mm-hmm.
one. And they do the little
Mm-hmm.
Nene, my nephew with Nene out the door, and we used to think
Wait, so he
that's
was Snooty Watt? Was he a part of the who?
CMG, early CMG before they became Yo Gotti label, before they became super big. He was
Mm,
early CMG, and he had the song Yayo, and he had the song That's
mm,
What Made Me, and it's special to me because it's like
yeah,
remind music. This whole podcast is just about music is greatness. Music is therapy, is what I want to
yeah,
tell people. So
yeah,
that music, because music, when you hear certain songs it's not the lyrics, it brings you to a certain time or a certain
yes. You
feel.
time travel with music will make you time travel for real.
And that's what it was. So it's like he seeing that news, I had no idea, but seeing that would have made me like, that's like getting robbed of some of my memories. It's like, wow, man,
Yeah, yeah.
this brother, rest in peace to him, that brought us joy at a
Hmm.
time of my nephew's birthdays and just
Yes.
like he's a part of our lives and he's just
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
That right
Yeah.
there could like, well, this is how Monday is gonna go, if you on
Right.
social
Right.
media. But somebody
Right.
told me that at work and I had no idea. But it's like I feel glad I didn't hear that. Somebody's like, oh, this
Right.
happened at a gas station. I don't know
Yeah.
none of that. I don't know. I
Yeah.
find joy now in ignorance of not knowing, just living. I live.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Because
know
certain
what's
things,
going on.
certain things, certain things you don't even, social media has no, there's no filter, there's no, there's no, hey, do you want to see this? It's just you're going to see this. I
Boom.
think back to the time I was literally on my way to a performance, and my brother called me. He said, "Hey, man, this is back in 2020." He says, "Hey, bro, I don't know if you heard the news, but Kobe just died. Big Kobe, huge Kobe fan." And it's crazy because in that moment, I was glad he called me. I'm on my way to a venue. I'm about to perform, and everybody and their mama would have told me there just in passing,
Yeah.
but him caring enough to hit me up ahead of time to preface me like, "Hey, bruh, like this is what happened." Da 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 da. Like I like, cause the opposite of that was for me, Chadwick Boseman. I'm just scrolling on the gram, just scrolling, and then I see a black and white. I'm like, wait, what? Like, word?
It'll feel
Like,
in that's, even though it's death, that's the way you really live your life. You don't look
mm,
for the
mm,
sympathy of people who don't really care, because most people in social media just want to know your business. They don't really care.
yes,
They just want to know
yeah,
your business. So he lived in a way where you're not going to try to see my movie because you feel bad for me. You're going to see my
right,
movie because my art is amazing. So
amazing, yes, yeah,
he lived a life like that. And that's just
yeah,
the social media thing, man. It's just, I pray for everybody. I go and drop my stuff. When I did my social media cleanse for like a week or so, it felt good that it became a habit. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't really, I gotta drop this, but also keeping yourself busy with something you love, like your music. I got so much back podcast stuff that I gotta do. I don't really
mm,
got time to like be on social
yeah,
media like that. And that's the
mm-hmm,
key to people. Keep yourself busy, where the negativity and bad things in your life, they don't have
mm,
time because you don't have time.
of
That's what
time,
you gotta
yes.
do, man.
That they don't have time because you don't have
I
time,
mean,
yes,
seriously, man. Now,
yeah.
man, we gotta close. We could talk for hours. My MacBook just informed me that I'm on 8% right now. Shout out to everybody working on a budget, meaning they don't
Look,
have a
I
budget.
feel it, I
But
feel it.
what I do, man, is like, for all the creators that I have on here, I try to narrow it down. I try to do for their life, but it kind of got like a tricky question for them. So I just say, this time next year, speak it into existence. What are you going to have accomplished? What things are going to be going on in your life?
I think this time next year, I want to have put on my own live garage session. Um, I definitely want to do that. That's something I've been pushing towards, having like a live experience where it can still be intimate as the garage, but I don't want it to feel too concert. I want it to be like real intimate. Something else I really have been believing for some sync licensing opportunities. So I'm hoping and praying on that. And just I really just want to be in a even more freer space than I am now. Like I'm really believing God, like creatively and everything. I just want to have this hunger and freedom that just, it's so fluid. It's so fluid and it's just so a part of me that you just see it. You just see it. When you're in your zone, you're in your zone, but it's almost like you're never out of your zone because you're living it, you're breathing it on a daily basis. But I think those are the main things I'm believing for right now, just like that.
And this is recording.